Hey guys, it's Kelsey back with another scrapbooking process video, and today I have one 4x6 of Marcus and I on Thanksgiving. We pretty much went over to my mom's house. My sister came over with the boys, and we really had a really nice Thanksgiving together, but I realized I didn't take any pictures. So Marcus got Frankie out for us to take just a little selfie together just to commemorate Thanksgiving, since I didn't really take any other pictures. This year for Thanksgiving, Mike's whole family was also over, which I found a little bit overwhelming. So after we visited and ate for a little while, some of us went down to the basement where they have like a whole nother lounge area, and we actually started watching Wednesday because it had just been released at the time. So I thought it was kind of funny, kind of a different Thanksgiving, but it was kind of nice to have a space where those of us who get overstimulated can kind of go and decompress, but still hang out and enjoy each other's company. But this is just a little 4x6. You can see I'm holding Franklin because Marcus thought it was very important that she was part of our little family picture for Thanksgiving. And since I'm documenting Thanksgiving, I thought it was a perfect opportunity to use this Michael's paper pad. It's called Give Thanks by Recollections, and I thought it was perfect for Thanksgiving because it's kind of a themed fall collection revolving around Thanksgiving. So I definitely wanted to use this plaid as a background. I thought that printed cluster on the background was a really cool focal point for up in the upper left-hand corner. I'm really trying to add to it. Usually when there's printed embellishment on a background, I like to add to it just to give it a little bit of dimension so it doesn't read so flat. So you'll see me a couple times try to add stuff to the cluster up there, but in the end I kind of leave it as it is, and I'm actually really happy with that choice. I got frustrated trying to deal with that cluster, so I'm just pulling in a bunch of scraps in my color scheme that I already had in the book to do a couple layers around this photo. I'm going to start by just doing a plain white mat, and then I'm just going to stagger up some of these scraps I already had and just use them in the size that I have to use them with. I'm just trying to alternate some of the greens and some of the multicolored ones. And then I'm not going to make the same mistake I made on the last layout where I didn't ink anything until I was almost done and then had to go back and do it. I'm going to ink from the beginning. So again, I'm using my archival ink in watering can gray just to ink all of my layers. And now I'm just going to go in and stagger these scraps just to do a couple partial mats, and then the paper I have a bigger chunk of, which is that orange and green houndstooth, I'm going to do a full mat in that one. But the other scraps weren't quite big enough to go fully around the photo, so I'm just going to use them as they are. And while I had the ink out, I went ahead and inked the 12x12 so I wouldn't forget that either. And now I'm just going to go through and stick everything down and just ink as I go. I'm really not sure embellishment wise what I'm going to do. I went ahead and pulled out a couple things I thought would go with the collection. I really didn't use any of it though, other than Tim Holt's word stickers. There are some cut apart sheets in this collection, so I will get some of the cut aparts used up. But other than that, I've been enjoying doing more minimal pages. I really like the simplicity of this one, but it still has a lot of impact, and you don't really need a lot of fancy stuff. Like I pretty much just used what came in that paper pad. The only thing I added was I added doily at some point, and I pulled those gold brads back in that I used on the last one. And I really like pages like that. It just reminds me of when I first started scrapping and I just didn't have a lot of embellishment. I just had to make do with what limited things I had, and this layout kind of reminds me of that, where I really just focused on what was in the paper pad I got. So I think I'm almost done inking. I did want this houndstooth print to go all the way around, just because the other layers were only partial mats, but I really like the visual interest that adds, and now I'm wanting to branch out a little bit. Because I have this printed cluster on the background in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to put the photo in the lower right-hand corner. Naturally, if I had my choice, that photo would be on the left-hand side, just because I feel like Marcus is the most dominant person in that photo, and he's looking to the right. So I like when people look into the page, but it just wasn't working on this one with having that embellishment in the upper left-hand corner, because everything would have been stacked up on the left side and I wanted it to be balanced a little better. So I'm just going to have the photo on the right-hand side, and I'm going to branch out with a couple of these cut aparts towards the left. So there's a little journaling piece that had the same floral print as one of the layers I've incorporated around the photo. And then there was a little turkey cut apart, which I thought was perfect because I don't think I would have ever used that unless it was for Thanksgiving. So since I'm actually documenting Thanksgiving, I'm trying to get a lot of the themed stuff used up. So that turkey is going to be my focal point for the embellishment cluster. And I'm just going to layer it on that journaling piece, and then I'll add a couple more things to kind of pull it out to the left a little more. There's this little label that has a cutie little pumpkin, which I thought was really cute. And then here's where I added a doily. For a while there, I feel like I was putting doilies on every single layout, and I didn't feel like my page was complete without a doily, and then I kind of fell off of that for a while. But I'm happy to have a doily back in. For some reason, doilies just remind me of family get-togethers, so I think it works well. And then I just wanted a little bit more of that green represented because there are several multicolored patterns on this page, and I just needed a simpler, more monotone colored paper to add a little respite. So I'm just doing my notebook edge border punch on this green scrap, and I'm just going to tuck that underneath everything to kind of anchor all the layers together, which I think looks really nice. So almost done with the paper layers here. I did find some scraps of a dark wood grain. I don't even know with what collection they go to. But I felt like the dark wood grain looked really good with this collection, so I went ahead and just tossed it in with the rest of my scraps. But I did decide to pull that in for a little banner underneath that pumpkin label as well. So everything again was looking very boxy. So other than the doily, I wanted to add another layer that was a different shape. So when I do pull in that dark wood grain scrap, I'll cut it into a fishtail banner. But for now, I really like how everything is laying. I know where it's going to sit, so I'm going to go ahead and commit and get this all stuck down. These collections that are more themed that I have a really hard time using, I'm not even going to worry about gutting. I do love this background with this plaid, and normally I would gut what's behind my photo and everything. But this particular collection, I have a ton of it, and it's not like I need to scrapbook a bunch of Thanksgiving pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it and not gut anything for this layout. I'm really trying to get through some of my stash that I feel like sits around too much, or that sometimes I don't use, or even like the Felicity Jane or One Canoe 2 stuff I was hoarding. I'm trying to dig into it while I'm not playing around with How to Kill a Kit with Style at the moment. So this was a good page to kind of dig into that one a little more. This is where I'm adding that little dark wood grain fishtail banner. I really wanted to add more of this around the page, but it was so dark. I kind of like just that little touch of it. I think it balances the darkness of my photo. So that's really the only wood grain I added, even though I had intentions of using that around the page a little bit more. And then this is where I'm going through all the embellishment I pulled out in the beginning that I thought I might use. I really was wanting to use gold word stickers. I love these little DIY shop stickers. But the font is very modern and cutesy. And I just felt like with this collection, it kind of leaned more vintagey, even though the text on the tag at the top is also very modern and cutesy. So I guess it wouldn't have mattered. But for whatever reason, I just felt like the Tim Holtz word stickers went better with this page. So I decided to pull out a couple phrases from both of those books. And then I did still want gold on this page because a couple of the cut aparts had gold foiling on them. So that's when I decided to pull in the gold brads, just so there was a pop of gold around the page, but I just thought the word stickers would have been too much. So what I end up doing is from the phrase sticker book, I have live simply, give generously, and start each day with a grateful heart. I thought both of those were appropriate for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to stack one on the top and bottom of the photo. And then I just wanted a little bit more. So then I went to the word sticker book small talk are the phrases, chit chat is the words. So I go back to the word sticker book and I pull in a sticker that says family and one that says sentimental. So those end up being the ones I use, which I think are on theme. I thought I already glued this down, but I guess I didn't. Now I'm gluing it down. And here go the 2 word phrases. And then I'll go through the sticker book and pull out the little extra ones. I don't know if I mentioned, but that little pumpkin that I layered on top of the turkey, I did pop up on some foam, so that has a little bit of dimension with it, I think is sweet. I love all the little pumpkins in this collection. I think every layout I've used this collection for, I've had these little fussy cut pumpkins from one of the pattern papers on them. But I wanted to mention I popped that up on some foam, so not everything is flat, and the doily also adds a lot of texture. And this is where I decide to do the brads as my finishing touch. I also thought about doing the gold Heidi Swapp color shine on this one, but I decided not to. It would have looked cute, but for whatever reason, I wanted this one to be more clean, and I think having just the brads really helped them kind of shine. So, excuse me. I'm just going to position those. I'm using a little foam mat underneath my layout so I can poke those through. And I'm pretty much done after that. So close-ups will be here in a minute. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.